Huffington Post is turning off their anonymous commenting.
Thank goodness.
I'm surprised it took so long.
Yeah.
I mean, when newspapers first went online, they went online with comments. When blogs started coming to the fore, they put comments in and didn't think about it, and it was an absolute mess because anonymity. I understand the need for anonymity for political speech, and we have a long, storied, and noble tradition of anonymous speech for politics in the United States. But writ large, it's a mess. It's a cesspool.
I'm fine with name withheld as long as the name is somebody knows the name and they have a real email. I'm fine with name withheld.
But I mean, you don't see the kind of racism and just plain meanness and on Facebook, and the reason is your identity is attached to your comments.
Absolutely.
BL, you just said something that was a little bit interesting. No, I mean a little bit interesting. It was interesting. I want to comment about
Wow,
it.
I finally said something interesting.
I am at the point of almost fear. I'm at the point of almost fear. There was a story about a Montana teacher who was convicted of raping a 14-year-old girl, and he got 30 days in jail. And there's a link. I'll put a link up to it. And I was going to comment on it because this is what's wrong with society. I was going to comment on it. And then as I read the comments in the story, you get all kinds of people talking about guns, and I'm glad we have guns out here in Montana. I mean, you get that kind of, red meat. And I thought to myself, you know what? It's not worth it for me to share my little in the 1 billion to 1 chance. So in some ways, I stifled my own freedom of speech by the issue of my name, not wanting crazies to know who I am.
Well, even just the exhaustion of getting into a morass of a conversation like that.
Yeah.
When people are not going to be civil in a conversation because they're anonymous, it's just not even worth the time to.
It's just wrong. And I write for EdEdge, and many times the comments on my articles are by people who clearly haven't read the article. I think what a lot of people do is they read the comments and they comment on the comments. And many times, I complained about this till they finally changed it, many times people would do comments that were longer than the post. Because they felt like, okay, now they have a form, and it had links to here and there and everything that, and so there's a certain responsibility that the publishers of whatever have to make sure that crazies aren't taking over, and that we can't avoid the issue that kids have been bullied to death by people on the internet. I mean, there are some very, very, very serious issues, and they need to be dealt with. So, I'm glad they turned off anonymous comments. It's a start, but there's a long way to go. So this brings us to the end of another episode of Beyond Social Media Show. And my colleagues can be found online. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, Beyond Social Media Show. Come join us on Google+, Beyond Social Media Show. And you can find Dave Erickson, D. Erickson, on Twitter, and eStrategyblog.com.
e-strategyblog.com.
eStrategy-TV on YouTube, right, Dave? And yeah, and you can find Albert Maruggi on Twitter, and Albert is online at providentpartners.net. I'm BL Ochman. You'll find me at whatsnextblog.com. I'm on Google+. I'm at What's Next on Twitter. Well, you can pretty much find me anywhere. And wishing you a great week until we see you next.